this video has been a long time coming, something I've been waiting to do for a while, and it's going to be a full tour of my setup, how I set it up, price breakdowns, and anything else I can think of along the way. And just for the sake of it, I'm going to do a tour of my room as well. So without any further chit chat, let's get straight into it. Okay, so starting off with the base of the setup, everything is held up with two IKEA Alex drawers. They are 55 quid each. They're classic units, somewhat overused, but for a good reason. They are quality little storage units, loads of storage space, loads of drawers, and they hold everything up beautifully. Above them we have the IKEA Capita legs. They are £11 each for a set of 4. They're a little bit too long in my opinion. Ideally I would have had something a little bit shorter, but it will do for now. They are pretty good. Frees up a little bit of storage space in between these storage units and the desktop. And the star of the show, the countertop itself, is the IKEA Colby in dark wood. This was 150 quid. There is a longer version, I think for £180, that I'll definitely get when I've got the space for, but because I only had space for the little one, there was no point in getting the longer one. I did have to cut it down a little bit as well to fit the space, but it's quite a nice material to work with. Even when I was cutting around that little notch where the radiator is, it all works nicely and it looks beautiful in my opinion. The dark wood with the greenery goes especially well, I think. Behind the desk I've just got some Amazon basic vines, I guess you would call them. They are held up by, I don't know if you can see there, but there's little plastic clips that they loop around and they're stuck on using little double-sided adhesive tape things. The footrest underneath the desk is a custom thing. It's just a few bits of wood, bit of sponge on top, and then wrapped with a bit of fabric. Ideally I would have got something nice and spent a bit of money on it, but I literally could not find anything that would fit that gap. It was either too long or not high enough, so I couldn't get the amp underneath. But yeah, it does the job. Moving on to the star of the show, which is of course the PC. It's a custom build, of course, built inside the Corsair 220T case. Brilliant little starter case, 75 quid for a case that looks brilliant and includes 3 fans as standard, very nice. Graphics card is the RTX 3060, did manage to get my hands on one of those for 400 quid. CPU is a fairly basic AMD Ryzen 5 3600, RAM Corsair Vengeance 16 gig. The power is a Corsair CX750F. Don't know why I got an RGB power thing, because you can't see it at all, but oh well. And then the memory, I got a 1TB NVMe SSD. So I did buy a few bonuses for this one as well, just to make it all that look nicer. A couple of cable extension sets, bought an extra fan. The AIO CPU cooler looks absolutely stunning in my opinion. That's the only reason I bought it, just because it looks nice. And I bought 2TB of extra memory as well. So the table shows all of the bits that are essential at the top, and then all of my additional add-ons, the bits beneath it. So it came to a total of 1,300 quid. And for a device that stores all of my films, all of my games, all of my music, it is money well spent in my opinion. It runs games very well as well. I can play Dragon Quest XI in 4K at 60Hz. So moving on to monitors and peripherals. The monitors are just 2 basic Dell monitors. They're 1080p, only 75Hz. Nothing special or flashy about these. I didn't want to splash too much on the monitors just because I was using them for multitasking. This was a purchase made before I found my RuneScape addiction and found that all of my gaming was done on the PC monitors. The TV on the other hand, that's plugged in at the side of the setup at a right angle, which is quite a nice way to do it I think. It'd be ideal if I was left-handed. I can kind of use the left-hand mouse and then tune over to the TV, but it'll have to do. It's a 50-inch Hisense TV. Again, nothing special, it's not OLED, although it is 4K, it's not HDR either, but for a 50-inch 4K TV, I've got that for 300 quid. Absolute steal in my opinion. It's a quality TV, it's a smart TV as well, so you can do all your Netflix and stuff on there. Personally, because I've got mine plugged into the PC, I just do it all from the computer anyway. It's a quality bargain. £300 for a 50-inch 4K TV is a stunning value price. The keyboard is the Logitech G915 TKL. The only reason I really bought this is because it's absolutely beautiful. It's the only keyboard I could find on the market that met all of my criteria, which were low profile, wireless, RGB and white. I couldn't find anything else that came anywhere close to this one. I don't generally use its gaming capabilities, it's just very nice looking. That's all I really use it for. The mouse I didn't splash out on this one. This is only a cheap little budget 15 quid mouse compared to the keyboard, which is current price at £160 for the black one. I couldn't actually find the white one on the market currently, but £160 for the black TKL version. It's a little bit more for the full keyboard. Other peripherals include my PS5 controller, which I've got plugged into the PC. For those of you wanting to use a controller, you do have to use a software with the PC, but it does work. You can get a PS5 controller working with the PC. I've also got a webcam, which you can't see around the back of the PC at the moment because I'm using it to film using my laptop. Allow it, I'm too cheap to buy a camera. but I've got it mounted on a little monitor arm behind the monitors. This is just so I can hide it away when I'm not using it. I'm not a big fan of the webcam taking up space over the monitors and covering up a portion of that. As well as that, I've got a USB hub which sits very nicely and very neatly underneath here. I've got my mouse, my keyboard, my PS5 controller and another mouse by the bedside plugged into there. It's really convenient, really nice to use. It's in, for some reason, better range. It connects better when it's down there in the hub compared to when the USB connectors are in the back of the computer. For some reason, not really too sure why, but it does a better job. 4 ports there, only I think a tenner for the hub. Just a very nice, simple, straightforward thing to use. So moving on to the sound system, the thing closest to my heart, we have on the desk two 3020i's from the Q Acoustics range. They look brilliant, sound brilliant, 220 quid for a pair, pretty good value in my opinion. Underneath the desk, we have a Sony foot warmer. Actually plugged it in recently, it turns out it's an amp as well. In all honesty, I have no idea how much this cost because this was passed down from my dad, but it functions as an amp. I've also got the same Q Acoustics subwoofer in the same kind of dark wood skin. Looks brilliant in my opinion, functions very well as well. All the way around the room, you might be able to see I've got some cables poking around from that corner, wrapping all the way around the room to the other side of the bed where I've got 2 speakers positioned on either side of the room as well. So it functions as a surround sound system. Ideally I'd have 4 speakers in each corner of the room because I think that's what sounds the best, but it's an odd shaped room so I'd have to settle with this. But it sounds brilliant. So for the speakers, that's 2 sets of 220 quid, brings it up to 240. 1 subwoofer, which was 250 quid. The amplifier, I have no idea how much that cost because that was passed down. So in total for that system, you are looking at 690 quid. I've also got the Corsair headset, which I'm wearing at the moment. So this, if you're wondering about sound quality, is exactly what the Corsair Void Elite sounds like, 70 quid. For earphones, I use the Sennheiser CX Plus wireless Bluetooth headphones. Very good quality, very good noise cancelling, painful to connect to, but they are 110 quid, well worth getting as well. I can't do a room tour without mentioning the little kitchen I've got in the corner of my room. I'm not going to do a full price breakdown on this, but the coffee machine was about 30 quid, blender was about 30 quid as well. I've made some attempt at cable management. I've got the hub wired underneath the desk, down to the extension lead at the back. I've also got the fridge there, it's about 100 quid. Yeah, it's a nice little space, but nothing too special beyond that. So for the lights, I've gone for a set of RGB IC from Govee. Got 1 set behind the desk and the other set over by the bed on top of the shelves. I've also got another set of Govee lights behind the TV. So these all link up to one app so you can control all 3 at once. So at the moment I've got them I think in some sort of party setting, but once I've got the music on, in terms of future upgrades, I do want to upgrade to a wall-mounted PC, looking at the Thermaltake Core P3 at the moment, just to free up a bit of desk space and make it look all that nicer up on the wall, and to allow for a bit of future upgrades for the PC. For the monitors, I'm looking at a super ultra-wide, something like the Samsung Odyssey G9. And for the TV, I'm not going to do it anytime soon, because what I've got at the moment is pretty much ideal for the space it's in, but I'm looking at getting some sort of stupendous 80-inch 8K OLED HDR madness. I'll do it when I move out, I think, when I've got the money for it. And that is pretty much it. The spreadsheet up on the screen shows you the price breakdown of everything you've seen so far, not including stuff like wires and all the kitchen stuff I've got. But there you go. If you've seen anything you fancy, there it all is. And with that, that is the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.